I'm Shannon with the Shannon Jones Team at Keller Williams Realty. Today we're going to talk a little bit about contingencies in the residential purchase agreement. If you are planning to buy or sell property in California, then these are terms you'll want to know about. There are three primary contingencies that are a part of most every agreement unless the parties agree to take them out. One is the inspection contingency. That's typically 17 days, but it can be shortened or lengthened by mutual agreement. The inspection contingency allows the buyer not only to have a physical inspection of the property, which checks the roof, plumbing, electrical, and all the other major systems, but the buyer can also look at crime reports, school ratings, noise or odor from any source, really anything that's important to the buyer during that contingency period. There's also a loan contingency. Under the contract, the standard length for that is 21 days, but that is often shortened by mutual agreement. That condition simply says that the buyer's purchase is conditional upon their ability to obtain a loan. The third contingency that's standard is the appraisal contingency. That typical time frame is 17 days in the contract, but again, the time frame can be changed by mutual agreement. If the property does not appraise, meaning an appraiser who's hired by the lender does not agree that the property is worth what the buyer has agreed to pay, then either the buyer can bring in additional funds, since the lender's typically going to make the loan based on that appraisal value, or the seller could agree to take less, or the buyer and seller could make a compromise and come up with a different purchase price somewhere in the middle. So those are the three primary contingencies. Those remain conditions under the contract until the buyer physically removes them in writing and proceeds. What if they don't meet the deadlines? Well, the contract gives the seller the ability to do what's called issue a notice to perform. That's a written notice, and it advises the buyer that if they don't meet those contractual obligations of removing the contingency within 48 hours, that the seller will have the unilateral right to cancel the agreement. There's a couple other contingencies that are sometimes incorporated into contracts. One is a contingency on the buyer's sale of property, meaning the buyer needs to sell an existing property before they can purchase the one they're making an offer on. And there's also a contingency on the seller's purchase of a replacement property, meaning they're saying, I'm not quite sure I'm going to sell this to you, buyer, until I know I have another property that I'm going to move to. So those are both options and can be negotiated if both parties agree. Everything with regards to contingencies is negotiable up front. But what happens if you get into contract and now you want to change the terms? That would require a modification of terms, or if you're looking for an extension of the time period for the contingency, you'd need to have an agreement called an extension of time addendum. If you have any other questions about contingencies or buying or selling property in Long Beach or surrounding communities in Orange County or LA County, please reach out. Let us know how we can help. Thanks a lot for watching. Take care.